Hi guys, Charliah back in the hood to bring you some good. Today we have our quarter life crisis talkback part 2. I don't know if it'll be part because it's not really a part of. Anyways, but again, I am not moderating. However, I may have like my own questions or whatever. But we're back with.
I did.
I don't know if I will.
Oh.
But if I do, I don't know.
Oh my god, is anyone?
I don't think it will.
What's supposed to be happening between here?
Yes.
So you guys, you can introduce yourselves.
Okay, I'm Lacey. I was the casting director for Quarter Life.
Hi, I'm Jacob Viyuoh, and I'm back once again moderating this Q&A. Yeah. My first question for Lacey. I wanted you to tell me about specifically your POV with your experience on how you got involved in this project, especially because I know you guys were all in the same class. So what made you want to choose to work on Quarter Life?
Well, I guess like the initial, because we kind of had a choice of which show we wanted to be involved in. Honestly, it kind of came down to my friends are in this one. And also, I just connected with that story more. Like, as a Black woman, I love like expressing stories and kind of trying to extrapolate these identity stories in an interesting way. So that's really my main focus as an artist. So even if my friends were in it or without, I feel like we're all people that are drawn towards similar things. So I just felt like as a team, we would work together the best. I mean, we'd also all work together before on stuff. A lot of us came from the same class. So it just made sense collaboratively and personally to work on Quarter Life.
And so, speaking of collaboration, let's get into your roles, because you were the casting director, as well as the DP for episode 2, as well as the director and co-writer for episode 3. So you were like, you had a lot going on. So it was like, what was it like juggling all those roles?
Yeah, honestly, it was a lot. I feel like I learned a lot in that show, and I kind of feel like we all had to like pick up and like kind of double up on things, whether you were writing multiple episodes, that's a workload in of itself. So I feel like everyone took on as much as they could handle. There were people that were producing and also writing as well, I believe.
Because you had so many roles and you had to pick them up. I mean, how did you find a way to balance it? Compartmentalize and balance.
Well, I think the schedule was like made it the most difficult because for episode 3 and because I was doing episode 2 and 3, the scheduling for that was like, it was separated a lot. So I actually ended up directing my episode over like the course of like 2 or 3 weeks. And that was really difficult. And I kind of feel like it definitely changed the way that episode turned out. I kind of felt like putting on those different hats and kind of switching in and out. It was very difficult. And I wouldn't say that it was like my strength in the project, honestly, because I kind of just prefer to really focus on one thing. And with casting, I mean, that's what I do now, and I love it. And that show made me fall in love with the process of casting. But it also like put all of the biggest problems that like could ever come up when casting something on the table. And and that's good and bad, because I feel like the most difficult type of casting you could say is like theater. It's oh my god, that's a beast. But TV, oh my god.
We'll get into that.
But TV is definitely really rigorous because you're going episode by episode, and then we also have the music element in it. So finding diverse like talent that also sang and acted and like had maybe a comedic bone. It was really like a challenge, but I think I really wanted to welcome that part on, and that was what I really connected to. And camera work, that's always something that I've loved doing. I mean, I love working in the camera department. If it's something that I'm doing on set besides directing, I want to be with the camera. I just feel like it's very active on set. So that wasn't difficult to juggle at all. I think that DPing that episode was really good. I feel like I'm able to enforce things directly, and you kind of get a result really quickly. But the directing part was definitely more difficult because it's all about mindset. You kind of already started talking about with the casting process. I was wondering, for fun, are there any
tips or pieces of advice you would give to like actors from a casting directing chair for like auditions, or like what casting directors are looking for in auditions? Because I know it varies based from like project to project, but like I guess specifically working in TV, like what's something that you think actors should like know going into self-tapes or going into auditions?
I think something that I've been thinking about a lot, like watching so many self-tapes over the years, is it's so important what sides you choose if you're just submitting, something for a monologue, and, if it's a showcase, and choose sides that really work with your personality. Because when you don't choose sides that resonate and show the best of your ability, we're also looking for personality and people that will pop on screen. So really try to find a new way to interpret those sides and think about what inspiration that this project could have come from. Just thinking more about script work, I think, is really helpful for some auditions.
Right.
But of course it varies when you have something that's maybe like 2 or 3 lines.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, that kind of comes down to simpler things, like do they fit within the scene?
Yeah.
What is their tone? Then it just comes down to like, just are you right for the part?
Right.
Are you the right character, like an archetype for this?
Yeah.
Any myths you want to just spell about the casting process that you feel like that's permeated the acting world?
Oh my
If that was even the
gosh.
right word to use.
Well, oh my god, my first thought is that please, if you can, don't make casting directors cast extras. Because it is an entirely, yes, it is casting, and for smaller projects, sometimes it makes sense. But it's a whole other beast to do extras casting for things that require crowds. And then, it's myth. It's myth that...
Myth, yeah, things that
my
you've
God.
heard about the casting process where you're like, that's not really true, or that's not
Well, I don't know, what's an example?
oh, that's a good point.
I feel like you guys are both actors. What
Yeah.
myths do you feel like, are circling around in the casting world?
I guess I don't know if it's a myth though. I'm trying to think of different tips and stuff. Like the first few seconds matters. You can't do too much movement, or what would you be looking for?
Well, it really is all in the way that they start the scene. I feel like how you begin a scene, how you walk into a room, and really focusing on that, your entrance. I feel like that's what they talk about in so many acting classes that you might do. It's you study those simple things, the entrance and the exit. And I feel like it really is so important, and it really makes the difference in a good self-tape. How does this character walk? How do they talk? You get all of those things in an instant.
Yeah.
And seeing how they want to actually portray a character is what I think of the most. So I do say the first 5 seconds are the most important. So maybe that's a myth that I'm confirming.
I was gonna say, yeah. No, so technically the first few seconds do matter.
I feel like it makes sense for most of these myths to feel true, because they're really just about sociology and human nature, and I don't know, if you make eye contact with someone, it feels like you're having an intimate connection. That portrays in how you connect with the camera. I think, oh my god, there's so many other ways to record a self-tape that there's things that actors may do that I'm like, oh, this is unprofessional, and it makes me not want to watch anymore.
Wow.
And it's not always the background or something, but sometimes it's camera placement, if the camera's too low or if the camera's too high and it makes you look distorted. Just choosing a simple angle, don't try to mimic the camera work of the film. Don't make it a short film. That's not what a self-tape is supposed to be. It's really just if the camera's locked on you, and if it's just in this boring flat position, are you entertaining?
Yeah.
And it's really about that.
No, noted.
I didn't even think about that.
All right, I was like, damn. I was like, no. Period. That's a good point.
No, yeah, there's so many, seeing dozens a day. There's so many that I'm if it doesn't look well recorded, and it's so simple. It's just don't try to be too extra.
That's real.
Now
back into the more of the quarter life. I guess, what was your favorite? The quarter life of it all. What was your favorite experience specifically in class about the quarter life process, and then what was your favorite experience shooting?
Oh my god. Okay, in class, I think it was really fun to see when we were breaking the arcs really early on.
On the board?
Yeah, when we were on the board.
Yeah.
I felt like that was really fun, and it really made me feel like we were doing something important. And sometimes, it would get funny when we'd go on a segue about what kind of guy Brandon is.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite stuff in the class. Just really breaking character. That's like really what I'm attracted to when it comes to script writing, and kind of how we are building these kinds of people. Like they're obviously based on like your original ideas, but fleshing them out more and seeing like what kinds of things would they do, and like experimenting with that.
Yeah.
I found that really interesting to do in class. And then my favorite thing on set, the final performance was really great. I loved being in the record store. That was probably my favorite location to be in.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was comfortable, and like there weren't that many of us. Like it felt like tight and also like intimate, and like the scenes we were shooting were really like close. But I also really loved working on that relationship between Shayla and Tyra was really special. I loved working with Shayla. So like seeing how she would take things from rehearsal and put them on set was really beautiful to watch, and like seeing her interpretation of his character was really beautiful because she was also like a really new mother. Yeah. Like she was literally breast pumping on set. Yeah. Like it was a whole thing. So like seeing her do that and like seeing it touch her was probably my favorite thing to watch on set.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Period. And then my last question. Do you have any advice for people who are interested? Well, specifically because you work in so many fields, I was going to say between casting, writing, DPing, do you have any advice for starters, for people who are trying to choose between the three or choose between those worlds? And then for any specific world or for all of them, like any piece of advice you want to give to them who are just starting out or trying to break into those fields?
Definitely. I feel like all of these fields come down to what are your ethics and like what do you want to dedicate yourself to. I feel like with casting, it's like I'm dedicating myself to people and I'm dedicating myself, we're all dedicating ourselves to showcasing experiences. Right. But you know, with camera, you're dedicating yourself to like holding a mirror up to those experiences and what does that look like and framing them. And with a writer, you know, that's so many things. Like, I don't even know how to cover that. It's like if you want to pick away and chip away at like these questions, and if you want to be in your head a little all day.
I guess also like writing for TV specifically.
Writing for TV. Oh gosh. Well, I feel like if you can handle a lot of pressure and fast deadlines, you know, it comes down to like work ethic and how quickly you want results. Like that was something that Dava noted to me, and she was like, oh, why I feel like, you know, some people are good at this and some people are good at that. She was like, I feel like you love casting because it's so direct. Like you kind of know you're gonna get this person and that person. You're like, I don't know, that's just me. But if you're someone that likes to mull over things a little bit, it doesn't mind taking your time, seeing progress, then like writing is great for you. Or directing still, you know, that does take a really long time to have a project that you care about and put it up on its feet. So something that if you want your career to be something you take more time with, that really shows you a lot about what you can do and how you want your life to be. Because that's what I really feel like it comes down to.
That's really good.
Right. Yeah. Prophetic words of wisdom. Like, I don't know what to say. But yeah, that's all the questions I have.
Okay, beautiful.
I just have... only if you're comfortable though at like just kind of telling like where you're at now, like post grad, and I don't know, maybe like where you see yourself in like 5 years or so or whatever, and like if you want to still continue casting, or are you like thinking of like other roles as well to go along with casting?
I still love casting. I mean, I'm still doing it full time. I think that even if I was to do something full time, it would still always be like working with people and like thinking about what's going on currently and kind of staying up to date. I love things that kind of circle around that, like with publicity. But I mean, in 5 years or so, obviously I'd love to still be working in casting full time, and maybe, you know, if I'm doing bigger projects, like attaching as like a producer, like, because I feel like that's such a big part of what casting is now too. It's like getting people on and helping with fundraising in that way, you know, attaching talent. So I kind of love that. And then, you know, in between that, there's still things that I'm passionate about when I'm writing or thinking about writing. It really how that is most of the time.
It really do be like that though.
Yeah, thinking about, I'm doing a lot of thinking about writing right now. And you know, like working in casting, I feel so lucky because I'm interacting with so many different groups. I'm interacting with like producers, directors, you know, people that fundraise for like Broadway. Like I kind of love being a sponge to it all, and when you're a sponge, like then you have more people in your corner that can support your work, which I feel like is one of the biggest parts of directing, is having people that are like, I see you, I trust you, and like your vision, you're enough to carry this whole team. And that takes a long time to develop that kind of backbone and that kind of armor to march everyone through the final, like the finish line. That's where I see myself.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, you're like very inspiring. I don't know. It's cool because out of like everyone from like that, not saying like, oh my god, okay, like out of to phrase this in a nice way, like I feel like it is a very tough time to find like footing in the entertainment industry and for you to still be doing it even outside of like school now is like very inspiring.
Yeah.
And I think about that like once in a while and I'm like, wow, Lacey's actually out there doing stuff.
Well, I feel like the difference is like, I mean, it is still very creative, but I feel like I'm able to put more energy into casting because like working and writing on your own stuff is very emotionally draining on yourself. And I feel like I'm able to put more energy by supporting other people. I think that's why so many people also want to like produce things after, and they're like, I want a writing partner and I want to like be active in this instead of kind of just waiting for something to come to you. I feel like we're all more in that kind of headspace right now, or learning to be. So I feel like it takes a lot of time to build that up and stability, you know, as people of color like trying to break into entertainment. Like you also just have to take your wins and know that like your career in college does not have to end in college. Like you made connections there and you like, girl, get on the Wasserman Center.
Literally.
Literally.
I mean, if you've already been in an artistic community for college, I feel like that's so incredibly lucky. I feel like that stays with you, especially where we made it. Like, I don't know. It's different. It's special.
Thank you for coming on today.
Of course. I had a great time.
So, catch us in like the next episode, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Peace out. Don't be a fool in school because it's not cool. And please like, subscribe, and share.
Bye.
Bye.